First of all, I wanted to say thank you to all of my amazing team. So fun to work with them. And also thanks to you guys for developing with specs. I feel like just taking a moment, I always see the stuff that you do online. Like now I see you all in one room. It's amazing really to what you just like pull out of our resources. I'm super, super happy. So clap to you, please. Today with you guys, I'm going to go through a flow, which is super important. We take for granted that everyone at hackathons know how to use Spectacles and our ecosystem at the best of our abilities. Now we are with the experts here, so I want to also compare with you what's your setup and what's the best way you can get out the best results from AI using our ecosystem and Spectacles. So today I'm going to guide you through my approach. This is my personal computer, by the way. So let's pretend that I'm at a hackathon. I go to a 2-hour workshop, and I'm very confused. I don't know where to start. I'm like, oh my God, this is so overwhelming. Yeah, I know there is the SAR glasses, but then there is the app, and then there is like thousands of APIs I need to work with. So please, this is my recommendation. This is the best flow, in my opinion, at this moment. I'm super excited for what's coming next, of course. I feel like there is very rapid improvement with AI, and we are all experiencing it. So whatever I'm showing you today will be probably out to date in 2 weeks. But for now, this is probably the best setup that we're going to use, and I hope that can help you also to say, hey, I didn't think about that part. I know I could do it, but let's give it a shot, right? So what did I prepare here? I prepare a folder called Bootcamp Day. In this folder, we have 2 folders, 2 subfolders. One is called resources, and one is called projects. And in this case, I have only one project, which is just named 1. This resources folder includes all of our best repos in our organization. So I'm going to show you. If you're not been exposed to this yet, this is our new organization, which is going to hold on all of the best resources for you. We have a bunch of repositories. They are very easy to access. We have like this endless list that includes not only samples, but also packages, unpacked packages, which is great for the AI to understand how things work, right? That one of the main issues with AI is that it cannot spy across that. Goes into the cache folder, everything compromised. You're going to close your computer, just done. No? But no, we are thinking about that. So of course, we're going to keep up with all these new ways to work. There are 5 repositories. We have samples, packages, actually 4. This is just really the cover. Samples, packages, agentic tools, and context. Let me explain a little bit the difference between all of these. You might probably already know most of it, but I feel like it's just good to know how to use them at their best. Context folder is really a collection of filtered resources from everywhere else. So we have documentation, so all of the Spectacle documentation without images, without GIF files and other stuff. We just have really the source, the markdown files, and all of the script example. We have frameworks, which are these very important packages. We have all of our packages. So all of these is all our unpacked packages that you find also on the asset library if you just want to import them from Lens Studio. Then we have some rules, and I will talk about all of these things. And then we have our samples, of course. These are also filter sample. So if you really you don't have any time and you want to just download one of these resources, of course, the context folder is the one that's going to help you the most. But my recommendation is just get them all so you can try the samples because you have them all statically on your computer. Download all the packages so you can reference maybe just one package and you have it there in the list. And of course, the context folder is always good to have in there if you want to index all of that material. So I don't know what kind of scripting tools you guys use. We really like, of course, Cursor and Claude because it's really the standard of the industry now. I really recommend. I went to so many hackathons that people were very much no, I don't use it. I'm not sure what's wrong with that. Did Cursor ever hurt you? Did Claude ever, I'm not sure what is. They're probably going to change in the future anyway, so I would say keep up with what's the standard and just be curious. I know a lot of people are talking about now the Google alternative, what's the name? anti-gravity. A lot of people actually told me it's very, very good, and it really explains you step by step, so I feel already behind. I recommend also to use Cursor because it gives you still a very visual understanding of your project, which really helps to understand things. They also try to change the layout in a way that you now just see the chat and nothing else. My mind still brings me back to just like, at least, let me see the folders at least so I know what I'm doing. And here on the left, you see that you have like, you see what I did, right? So let's pretend that this cursor folder here is not here. And I'm just going to do this because it takes a while to pull everything from the internet. I don't want to spend extra time downloading. But I just cloned all of those repositories in the resources folder. So we have our Agentic tools, which now is empty because I moved them into this cursor folder here. And then we have our context folder with all of our resources. We have packages. And then we have samples if we want to try one of those just like right out of the box. Instead of going to the Lens Studio homepage, which all you know, I'm talking to very expert developers here. So you all know that these are the same resources that we find also in the homepage of Lens Studio. So what do we do with this? Very important. Take a look at this. If we go in the settings of Cursor, you're going to see multiple interesting stuff. So one of the things that initially was just like a very small feature, so it would just index automatically the code base. Now it became a lot bigger. You can index like everything, like all your workspace is indexed in Cursor. What does this mean? It means that all of this code base is vectorized, and when you're searching a specific information within that workspace, it's really easy for the AI to arrive to some conclusion. So this is fundamental. Even if you don't use rules, agents, skills, all of that stuff, please open your workspace with all of these resources inside. You will see like a monumental increase in quality in the answer that you could ask the Cursor. And then another thing which we see here is that we can also, you probably know already this, but I tell you again, you can also add links from the internet. So for our case, we can add all of the Lens Studio API as I did here. So it's additional information that we scrape from the internet and we have it in there. So highly recommend it. It's going to change your life. Don't use the editor script in Lens Studio to do this, okay? Let's take a look at this section. So rules, skills, and sub-agents. These, you can also add them manually. If you go in here and you just click new, you basically do the same that I did here. But all of this good stuff, which you will find in the Agentic tools that you just pull from our organization and repository. So this one, now you see it's empty because I just moved everything in here. Cursor has this sort of like, admin folder here at the very top. And then we're going to have our agents. And here we split the agents in 4 different categories for now. Seems very good for the results that I achieve. Context Resource Explorer, so this one goes into the context folder. Public Skills Explorer, so this goes into skills. Spectacles Coding Style, so it keeps everything super neat and super ordered, so you don't have like, if you, for example, you're planning to submit a lens, this is super helpful because the quality of your code like exponentially increases just going through all of these. And then a spectacle structure, which is just curate the directory. I work with a lot of you guys, and I remember that I see some very scary directories in the asset browser. Like I open the project, it opens, and then I look through, there are like 35 materials. One folder called materials. I'm like, why didn't you put a material inside a material folder? Don't do that. So this agent is gonna really help you to put the materials inside of the material folder. Okay, rules. So rules in terms of like how you communicate with your agents, right? Communication meaning that, I don't want emojis. Please keep things TypeScript. Please don't create 2,000 README every time they ask you a question. Keep your answer short. You can also modify all of these rules, but create your own space. Make it like very comfy. So every time that you play with it, you just become more addicted, and you're not just like avoiding to do it. And then one of the most important things that now is really changing the landscape of AI, I would say, is the fact that now whatever was this kind of drop context folder into the AI and just let the AI choose things, it's becoming really structured. So that context engineering is proceeding toward really a way to structure all of your information in such a smart way that the AI know what to do at the right time. So skills are exactly that. You can just create skills. There are a lot of different guides that you can find for creating skills specific to Cursor or Claude. But long story short, is a folder with a very specific entry document, which is called skill with caps letter. And then inside of it, you can put scripts, reference, documentation, and everything related to that specific task. And our docs and samples are the perfect candidates for becoming skills because we have a very ordered way to have, we have a samples for this feature. And we have this document that also explains how to use this feature. This combo of these three things together is going to make everything so much easier for you when you ask questions. So we just put them all together for you. You just need to drop them into the Cursor folder. It's going to be very easy. And every time that you are going to ask questions, theoretically, the AI should just like plug into the skills and do something with it. All right, going on the trains of AI improvements that are possibly publicly, we go on and we see MCPs. Who knows what are MCPs? Come on, a little more. Don't be shy. OK, so let's keep everything inclusive for everyone that maybe has never been exposed to this concept, are relatively new. So MCPs is Model Context Protocol. It's rapidly evolving too, so I don't think it's so helpful to know because probably it's going to be dead or completely changed in some time. But it's just another way, another protocol to structure all of these informations. As you might understand, like structuring information is key for the AI. Like this is really like the sauce of your AI product. Like there is no other way. Like who does better, this one wins. And so structuring all of your resources for developing with specs is also a part of the game. MCP is like a protocol that allows to create different tools, and every tools have their own description, and the AI particularly understand when to call it and how to call it for doing specific things. In the lens of Lens Studio, that's very important because, for example, when you create an object, when you just do it through the editor, you say right-click, create box, something like that. That is an editor API that runs inside of Lens Studio. If you say to the AI, hey, create a box, that is going to be whatever the executor under Lens Studio is going to call for you. So the association of those two things, like question and answer, needs to be really strong. Like the AI needs to have a perfect list of commands and understand what to do at the right time. There's a lot of space for improvements here, but for now, we actually have the Lens Studio server here. If you go into the asset library, you're going to find this chat tool API definition. When you install this chat tool definition, which we're going to trust, you're going to see this line at the top, which is called AI Model Context Protocol, and then you're going to configure the server. You're going to start the server, and then you can copy the MCP configuration and paste it into Cursor. So you can just literally go here and just like, this is what you're going to paste, right? I already did it at the top. And this is going to allow you to connect Lens Studio with Cursor. And as you see here, there is like 9 tools enabled. And this is my recommendation again, probably something that you wouldn't find, if you just try it on your own, you might not like think in these terms. But all of these tools, I feel like the most valuable for me are really this one. So getting things from the editor, like feedback. So Cursor knows your logs, basically. That's all I need. I want to have Cursor that knows my logs, and I want to know that, once I know those logs, I don't need every time to paste those logs or just explain Cursor what to do. So this is very important. It's going to really speed up the way you're working, and it's going to make you think like how things are going to proceed farther. We have like a lot of different ones. From my experience, I have to say I have to be like so detailed to use them properly, which at that point I just rather prefer to do it myself, like I have to be honest. But when we are going to have more flexibility across all of these tools and more context and more structure, this is not going to be a problem. It's going to be a lot more natural. So don't worry, of course there's going to be a lot of improvement. I'm just giving you the best you can get at this time. So it's very important that you just keep that into consideration. So now that we are just like, we're plugged into everything. We're plugged into Lens Studio. We have Cursor with all of our skills. All of our material is indexed, and we're ready to go, right? What should we do? So I want to do, not to keep going on the Snap Cloud train, but it's a very important feature, which usually I find myself using so many times. And that's what we're going to do now. So I'm just going to create a very simple real-time example, how I kind of approach the problem. Many of you probably understood already that AI really likes to see code and not other things. The more you keep things encapsulated in code, the better it is. That's why we're starting to create a lot of different packages that keep that in mind. For example, if you go in the asset library and you just go here on the spectacle section, there is something called FastUI. I'm just going to install it to show you what it is. FastUI is basically a programmatic UI. You avoid to have so many references in the inspector. We're in a weird middle ground now of things that we can do with AI that maybe could be easier in the future. But if you take a look at this, all of this panel is literally one script like this with some parameters in it, nothing more. And then there is some instruction at the top with a sort of an API that we can use. It doesn't even matter if we can use it or not, because as long as it's there, the AI is going to pick it up and it's going to connect things a lot faster, because it's just one script versus another script, and it's all in the code base. It's all in the same place. It's very weird for me, because I spend so much time on these platforms, and now I basically rarely look at the scene and rarely look at the inspector. So, a lot of things are changing, not just for you, but also for us. So let's say that I want to create, something like a basic example for real time. So how would you approach it? First of all, let's see if you can listen. Hey, can you listen? We are not even typing, guys. Come on. We're in the future. I want to make a simple Lens Studio project that demonstrates the capability of SnapCloud real time. I want to make a plan of action for that project, and I don't want you to start right away. So please do not start to create any script. Just create a document file. I want to make a very simple UI that allows me to push a button, and this button creates random sentences, random messages, which I will be able to display in my real-time channel on my SnapCloud dashboard. So I'm going to go on the SnapCloud dashboard. I'm going to see the things that I'm sending when I press a button. And for example, you might just send things like, you're the best developer today. You're the best developer tomorrow, and so on and so on. For doing this, you need to gather a lot of knowledge about the task. Between the most important things you need to gather, there is the knowledge about SnapCloud, which you can find a lot of information here. Okay, so this is another thing why it's very nice to have cursor, is because you can literally drag and drop stuff in there. And it's something that I don't think with Visual Studio Code or some plugins for Visual Studio Code you can do. At least you need to do / and then it never finds it. I don't know, I used alternatives, super bad. But here you can literally just do it. So what do you want to do? Well, let's go on our context folder. Let's go in docs. This is the same order that we have online. So if you're familiar with that documentation, you're probably going to understand how to use it right away. We're going to just turn SnapCloud here. Then we're going to also do this. We're going to go, because we know that there is a package, which is called SnapCloud example. We're going to also drop it here. And then we're going to say, also in this guide, make sure that all of the code that is created stays inside of this folder, which is the one of the project. Make sure you don't touch any cache folder, and make sure you don't impact anything in the resource folder. Remember, you still need to do a plan of action, so do not create stuff, okay? Just listen to me. I bet it would work, but this is the Italian that comes out of me. Okay, so here, you will need to know also that I really prefer that you create UI in a very programmatic way. Do not ask me to add a lot of component in the editor. That's too much work. Please look at this. This is a nice way for you to understand how to create things programmatically. All I need is a very simple UI that allows me to press a button and send in messages and display those messages. So I think you have all the resources you need to do something of this kind. Instruct me in how to hook things up together if it's needed, or ask me a question if it's needed. And remember that this is a plan of action. Do not take action. And save it here and call it Plan of Action MD. When you talk to your friends, you ask them to go in plan mode. They are smart. They understand that you're planning. So I trust. You see, I have a level of trust. Now I want to just create a plan of action. You know why I'm going to create a plan of action? Because I'm going to pass it to Claude too. I'm going to put them against each other. But it's always Claude. It's just through two different orchestrators, which is weird, right? But I always feel like having Cloud Code in the terminal is such a good way to just like keep using more tokens and spend more money. So I usually never experience that it's taking other things, it's taking action to do other things. Because plan mode, I feel like it really just only plans. I feel like it just takes less chance to do other things like exploring your workspace, I feel like. I feel like for the times that I tried this, I had better results, not in plan mode. So, you know, this is also personal. Maybe that's not true at all. But from my experience, that's what I experienced. I think the planning is super important. Really gives like a stable reference to AI to really just go back and check out things. Also saves you a lot of time. Saves you a lot of time in just like going back and just asking the same thing over and over and over again. So my high recommendation is like just do a plan of action, and then if you want to do more things, just edit your plan of action and just like drag it up again. Maybe just keep an agent handling your plan of action stuff and keep another agent working on the plan of action. Really become the manager of your workspace in a way. All right, let's see. Channel name, Bootcamp day, okay. Sentence pool, any specific line you want to include beyond generic? No. Incoming display, suit the incoming backend render on the lens UI via fast chat, or just print to the logger. Show it and just inspire yourself to the way fast chat is built. But it can be also simpler. Is this a live demo? It's not really. Super-based project, will you create a super-based project? I will do that manually. Allow me to just manually drag it in the inspector. Location of script, project as a script. Yes. All right, save it. Now we could just make another one and just keep going. Let's give it, okay. Please start creating. All right, see how it goes, huh? And all right, now comes the fun part. You need to do better than your friend Claude. Please create all of these scripts in assets, project, challenge folder. Boom. Okay, let's see who does better. You guys can go get a coffee or something. Oh, I'm kidding. It should be relatively fast. Let's make sure Snap Cloud real time, perfect. It's very nice to see all of the steps because you can just stop it in advance. But you know, who between all of you does something like this? 1, 2. Okay. I'm happy. Like a good 40%. Okay. For bigger projects, actually, there is a stream that we did not too long ago on the Land Studio channel. And we did this experiment with this feature called Teams of Agents from Anthropic. And that allows you to really see all of the all of the agents working together in multiple terminals. It's also very, very cool visually because it opens automatically different terminals. Usually a lot of agents or services, they start running agents in the background. But it's more like kind of like Mitchell's approach to show you many agents together. I feel like that's actually a very cool way to work because it's more like visual and more natural. Okay, let's see. Says this is done. So tier 1, random center provider, real-time broadcaster, real-time demo UI. This one requires me to have the broadcaster, sentence provider, choose fast grid. All right, so theoretically, we should be able to be connected on everything and to see stuff in the real-time channel. Let me see if they give us the name of the channel, which is Bootcamp Day. Let's go in our organization, which I believe is Alessio org test. Real time, join a channel. Is something working? There you go. Definitely send it with that button. All right, definitely got it with one button, which makes me, one shot. So we have it here, you're the reason test pass. I think this is an easy follow-up for the AI, but proof the fact that it's just like work in a one shot. So I'm pretty happy with the result that we can just say, hey, just work with one button. Okay. So this is the way you can work today on spectacles, which, for augmented reality glasses have these kind of fluidity in the workflow. To me, is like very unprecedented because usually you make things with ChatGPT or Gemini, and the best outcome I get with those tools is usually a lot of websites. But here we're talking about like a lot more than that. We already have these kind of UIs that are spatials, which are part of our ecosystem. And really, if we try to bridge all of these things together, what happens is that the magic really, everything feels so faster, feels like magic, right? You can really build things spatially. And there's a lot more to come. And as you probably saw previous experiments with Mitchell or Atlee, you see where this is going.